pretty early in your Wednesday, your hump day, and I haven't been on in a while. I will help you. I'll help you to that conclusion, or I'll help you to say. I'm just gonna give you guys a couple of minutes. This is a bit of a rant, or a little bit of a just some of the things that I've seen, and I don't know if you guys are, how much you're tuning in to things. Of course. I hope you guys had a nice holiday weekend if you celebrated. Some people, they get a little salty during the holiday times. It almost doesn't matter what holiday it is, but especially this one. But I do have a question. How long do you guys think it will be before the powers that be figure out how to liberal wash away the holiday that we, maybe it's the easiest thing to remember. I do apologize for the connection. This is a little bit of a journey that I'm on again, and I've done this twice, so just bear with me on this. But I had quite a few things in the news the last of course, maybe the lesser known, of course, the things that need to hit the news. Into some CERNage coverage yesterday, and I also tuned into the Party of Davos meening in Switzerland, and Geneva, earlier this year. And yeah, so and I think what I want to say is that I do think that no matter what they tell you, I do think that there's some of course there's darkness, I think, behind this whole initiative. I mean, there's symbols. I mean, science, when you blend something that appears to be a little bit of science and sorcery together, to me, you get concerned. And I mean literally concerned. Okay, maybe you can pick up what I'm putting down there. But but at the same time, I'm beginning to wonder if that alone is not a distraction, if that alone is not some type of subterfuge to keep people's minds, to put people in more of a fear mode. Those that are, I think, spiritually armed, I think they are prepared. They're prepared for what comes. We don't live, the spirit of fear is not something that we've been given. At least it wasn't given to me, I think, by the Creator, whether you believe in it or not, no matter what you believe. I think that is a cell, or a debilitating factor for anyone. But the concerned are going to do what they're going to do, and we just have to be prepared. We have to be prepared in the physical. We have to be prepared in the metaphysical. We have to be prepared for whatever, and not get too concerned. That's what I think we need to try to maintain that. The other thing is that I've noticed that as far to the west, it looks like, you got a little bit of gaslighting, because you had Gavin Newsom basically flipping the whole script, telling you that freedom was under attack. Your freedom of speech is under attack. Oh my gosh. But there's something else that's happened that I kind of got to the 11th hour on, coming out of there, the gaslighting, is that somehow the governor and the attorney general managed to leak a database of gunner owners. So I think the real tyranny, they can't enact it without the seizure of that particular amendment, the 2A. They've got to come after that. They've got to gaslight the masses. The masses are going to continue to follow them. I think there's another guy. A lot of people are going to continue. They believe what they're told rather than their gas prices. They believe what they're told no matter what's on the shelves in the stores. They believe what they're told over reality. What are you going to do about it? Well, like I said, you're going to have to remain prepared, and you're going to have to do everything you can, but you're not going to be able to. It's like, I think people need to get to a place in which some people are not going to survive. You know, if we hit rock bottom, they're not going to, and you're not going to be able to save everyone. You can do what you can do, but you're still not going to save everyone. And some of those people, when I say everyone, that's going to include people that might be close to you. But they're going to expect you to lend a hand or to try to bridge the gap, stand in the gap from their slothfulness, their laziness, their ineptitude, their incompetence, their bullheadedness, their stubbornness, not to prepare, not to listen. So they're not going to be prepared on, many of those fronts. They're not going to be prepared for anything. But they'll want you to throw them a life raft, or they're going to use you as a safety net when the SHTF happens. We all know that. I think people that kind of follow this channel or whatnot. But I'm just kind of it's just as a mini rant, not even a real rant. It's just, I'm just bringing up some of the things that I see on a rotation. I think this whole political matrix is winding back, is revving back up. It's about to rev back up. And I do think mail-in ballots will be an issue. I do think that will be. I don't know what the impending doom will be. I don't know what the cyclical doom will be, what the threat will be, what they're going to say the threat is. There's always a threat to the most, coming from the most the misknown party. I seriously think they're completely disingenuous when they name themselves a Democrat Party. I mean, and I even think that George Orwell is a bit of a fraud. Shout out to Francois Pearson, because even he wrote a book about the English language and how deceptive it is, and he talked about the word specifically, democracy, about how disingenuous people can be about it. But then you got an entire party here in the U.S. We got a two-party rule here, and they're calling themselves Democrat. And for the people the low vibrational personalities, the people who want to tell you about democracy, but they don't want to read, and read a page about it. They're the first ones to tell you, oh, well, that's why I vote for them, because they're for the people. That's the subterfuge. I do have members of my family that are, they came from a time in which they saw water fountains. They saw segregated water fountains, and they rode segregated buses, or they, to school, or some of the first generations to integrate, to be amongst those integrated in the schools at that particular time. And they just want to keep replaying that as if it's going to change what happened, or, but then here's another thing. This is another point that I'm on. I'm a little bit all over the place. But with the power of the media, the influence of the media, it's hard to get people in the South to open their mind to think about things before they react to things. It's hard to get them to do that when they have come from those particular those particular eras in society. Okay, but then you have Gayle King getting on. You have all this little injection of propaganda and Marxism that's injected into the media on a regular basis, and it's not just the CNNs and the MSNBCs. It's also GMAs. It's also The View, The Chew, The Talk. All of these shows inject the same kind of rhetoric, the divisive rhetoric, wedge division into society. Like, for example, I'll say, I was watching, I wasn't watching it because I cannot tolerate these people. I cannot tolerate these deletes. Okay, so all of a sudden I'm overhearing something about that one of the southern states like Alabama happens to be the most, women have the least amount of success in the state of Alabama. And I'm just thinking, okay, here we go. And then, of course, but to people that are lower vibrational and refuse to read, that's what I call confirmation bias. But the most people that criticize the South, it usually comes from somebody that's elite, or at least they're elite in their own minds. Okay, it comes from somebody that has either gotten to where they are because they rode somebody else's coattails. I mean, Gayle King is very well associated with Oprah Winfrey. She's very much associated with her. That's a direct link. And if I'm not mistaken, if any of her story is true, she was born in Mississippi. I don't know how much time she spent in the South, but somebody associated with her is quite comfortable injecting that kind of rhetoric and kind of, to me, propaganda into media on GMA. And this is the thing. It's something. Shout out to Franchot Pearson. He says, when America runs out of wedge issues, they go to sex and they go to race. And to me, those are going to be some of the issues of the day for this next, whether you want to say for this next matrix, the 2024 matrix that they're going to have. That's going to be some of the biggest wedge issues that they're going to bring to the forefront. But I'm just saying, I just get so sick of people trying to crap on the southern states when you got most of the people in the South. If you were to many people in the South that are not stacking degrees on their walls, they could compete with anybody in the country. Because for one, they know how to think. They're thinkers first. They read. They're big time readers. Many of them are. In fact, yeah, I would put some of the people in the South and the state of Alabama up against some of the most highly credentialed or highly decorated or esteemed professors. Because a lot of you cannot measure somebody's intelligence based on what these elite colleges or what the spin-off college of another elite college deems as educated. It's all subjective. One college, the thing about it is the standard is different for every college you go to. Notice I said standard. The standard is different for every college that you go to. So how can there be such a strong elite consensus when there's so much variation and so much contrast between standards? I'm serious. You got people that won't listen to a janitor because a janitor didn't get a college degree. I mean, you might have, the thing about it is, I know I'm going on to a ramble here a little bit, but you might have a janitor that was actually the valedictorian of their class And you know what? He never took an ACT. He never took an SAT. But you could never, so that to me, he, as they say in the South, he could probably go on a Jeopardy or take the test and basically whip the brakes and the shocks off of somebody that went to a four-year college and got a degree. And to me, any day of the week, that's much more impressive than somebody that goes to an institution and lets somebody act out on them and brainwash them for what, 8 semesters and earn a piece of paper. Okay, so you showed those people in that community, in that college, that you would jump to their tunes and you would jump as high as they ask you to jump. But what about the next college? Will you jump as high as they want you to jump? I'm telling you, it's so subjective. And I have a college degree. I have 2. Okay, but even I know that most things for real life situations, the colleges don't prepare you for that. So what I'm saying is, when I see these 3-letter networks injecting division and isms into the current day, I think all they're doing is they're basically preparing you and massaging you for the issues that are going to be brought up, in the midterms. I'm going to be honest. I think these people are skipping the midterms. These people are gunning for the 2024 general election matrix. They are not. I know that I'm sure that theoretically the midterms are pretty critical right now, but I think in the bigger scheme of things, some of them are framing what they're going to do for the general election in 2024. They know. I think they're willing to take whatever their L's are, because they got a lot of them, and people are suffering in this country. Farmers are suffering in this country. The general public, I just think that the people's understanding of economics is really pathetic. Because, I'm not an economist. That's not my domain of competence, nor am I purporting it to be. But I will tell you, I think the general idea, the general basis of an economy is based on what you have. I think the success of an economy is based on the resources and the commodities and the sectors that you have. It's not based on just dumping more money into it. Because to me, we're upside down. We're upside down on human resources, on what we have, what's in the workforce versus who's working in the workforce, as opposed to how many jobs there are in the workforce. And I do think it's by design. You call me, you want to call me a conspiracy theorist. Yeah, I'll be that. I'll do that. But I'm saying it's just the general, education. Our education system is the other thing. We're not, what we have, the amount of people that are actually, that's another issue. It may not be a direct economic issue, but it's inadvertently, we don't have enough teachers. They basically, in many states right now, even with the amount of raises and things that they're giving, there's still, your teacher colleges don't have enough people applying. They're in the low triple digits. And for the amount of teachers that you have out there teaching versus the ones that you actually need, I think that's an economic, your educational economics is upside down right now too. So what is going on? Is this, a lot of people are saying it's the fall of America, and if it is, it's a fall on many fronts. We're falling on many fronts. A lot of people, the first thing, well, the CV-19 or DVOC-19 caused this, that, and the third. Well, come on, let's get real. A lot of these institutions were fractured before that, and I just think that it swelled and deflated every economy, your emotional economy, people, the mental health. They already knew that they were upside down in that. You don't have enough, your medical, and then with the trust in the medical community. Who trusts the medical community right now? Who trusts the scientist right now? You're upside down in your medical community trust and faith. You're upside down in your mental health. I'm serious. The amount of people, there was a doctor shortage that I recognized at least 7 years ago. At least 7 years ago, at least. And I'm not a doctor. There again, that's not my domain of competence, but that's just due to friendships and acquaintances and associates. I was aware of that. But we're upside down in many economies. We are. So when you have these politicians like Joe Biden, because he speaks Joe Biden, shout out to Kevin's Corner. You speak Joe Biden. When he gets out here and starts talking about, oh, things are strong, and then I tell you, somebody else that's completely disingenuous is that Fed Chair Jerome Powell. That guy was disingenuous when Trump was in office. Okay? You guys remember all the fluff that Nancy Pelosi was telling? Oh, yeah, this was the Trump in the Trump years, last few years in the Trump. Oh, yeah, the Fed chair says, oh, yeah, we can think big, write the check big. Think big, baby, think big. Spin, 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 spin. And he is still purporting that there's sectors of the economy or whatnot are still in good shape. He's still doing that. Those balance sheets, seriously, I don't know if we have any economists tuning in here, but you guys, you can look at those figures if you want, but the real economy, it is not good, okay? It is not. It sucks. Just saying. Good morning. Let me just say hi to a few people. I'm OTR again. The Watchman's here. How are you? Good morning, you guys. Charlie Ziegler. Thank you guys so much for coming in. But yeah, I'm just saying, it's just that at what point are people going to stop believing what they hear? Historically, that's a net plate. We can go back to history to find it's more, yeah. It's more communist, or the availability of getting what you need. But I'm telling you, I just think that there's some fundamental stuff when it comes to economy that people just don't understand it. They don't care. They don't care that they don't understand. All the sectors, all the resources, the funds, everything is a part of the economy. It is based on the success of it, to me, is based on how well what some people to call it monopoly money, or just dumping money, spending money, going into title this thing, CERN. Are you concerned yet? Are you? Or do you know any people that are concerned yet? To me, it didn't really, as they say, it didn't feel like a July 4th. It did not. It did not. You guys have to see that. If I decide to come on later tonight, I might even play that for you. It's just like, it's segment. You notice how the word CERN, you can find the letters CERN in many words. But a lot of people are they're completely bereft of CERN. They're bereft of CERN. CERNage. How about we make a t-shirt, make CERN great again? And I'm not talking about Geneva, Switzerland. We need to bring back the CERN. Or remind people of what the CERN is. Or what does CERN look like to them? When do you become concerned? Or I almost got this word disconcerted almost. That's close, not quite CERN, but concerted. I think some people become disconcerted. Many times the disconcertedness comes before the CERN. So I don't know, which one are you guys? What stage are you in? What stage are your friends and family in at this point? I mean, I've seen a lot of people that appear to be having fun, but I'm going to tell you, the other thing is, this is an issue that I have. I can't deal with double-minded people. I don't trust double-minded people. Those people that moan and bitch and moan, oh, well, we weren't free at the time. We weren't free at the time of the Independence Day, and then we need, and then I tie it to, and then I throw another hook on to, so you need Juneteenth is a more liberating independence for you? Is that what you need? I don't know. Who was it that said? Was it Tolstoy that said history is great if it's true? I want you guys to come back to me on that. Ride with me on that. I think it is. Was it Tolstoy that said history is great if it's great if it's true, or if it were true? I'm going to do a little bit of research on that, because Juneteenth, my friends, to me is a conflation of New World, the liberal world order. They want you to call it the liberal world order. It can't be new. Yeah. Come back to me for that. I want to see, was that Tolstoy that made that quote, that history would be great if it were true? Because I'm telling you, the more you dig around into certain things in history, you find as many holes as Swiss cheese. Where does that come from? Where does it come from? Because I'm telling you, somebody's writing the history right now. And I think this generation, and I don't want to give my generation away. It's not millennial. I think that's, for argument's sake. I'm not a millennial. No, I am not. But I'm saying that I think a lot of people will argue some of these points. But yeah, I find it, I'm just telling you, like, it never ends. I think these shows like GMA and all these places that kind of inject the same kinds of, they inject the wedge issues in, and they do all these things, pitting people against each other. It works. It works. And the thing about it is, when you ask, okay, so if I ask a family member, okay, so what did you want to do as a woman that you weren't able to do at the time of your, beyond, you went to high school, you had opportunities. What did you choose to do versus what you actually did? Your success match up with what your choice is, instead of sitting here watching Stale King on GMA drive an extra division, or drive more. She just gave you're already not happy with something about your life, but so let's just go ahead and subscribe to Stale King on GMA, that my state is the most difficult place in the world for a woman to be successful. Oh, come on. You don't believe that. Because to me, that says that you don't appreciate anything, that you're saying you had no successes. You didn't do what you wanted to do. You didn't do what you chose to do. Well, okay, according to the liberals, they're all about choices, right? And you had choices, did you not? You might not have liked your choices, but don't sit here and do this confirmation bias based on some millionaire talking head. Don't do it. I'm not impressed with it. Oh, I knew this state was trash. I knew they were holding women down. I mean, yeah, I try not to use this phrase because it seems like a great number of people, a huge consensus using it. You can't make this stuff up. You can't. Because to me, if I sit here, wrap me into the whole college thing. Most college professors see the world as they see other people, and they see the world's they want the ideology to reflect the way they see. They want it to be reflected. They want to have it echo in their mind. They want all of that. I've had pompous professors that I could care less if I had to do anything else with those people. In the real world, that pompous jerk professor, I don't want him teaching me anything. I don't even want him to help me make a sandwich. I wouldn't even want him in a home ec class with me. I wouldn't want him to do anything like that. Because it might be based on his research. And that's going to pigeonhole me. Good morning. Is that Anthony Van Zant? What a treat. Let's see. Yeah, it is Anthony Van Zant. I am not ignoring you guys. I am just double here. Narcissism, because society. You just think about it. I mean, but then at times, and I put this in my last video, sometimes I'm going to check myself. Am I the narcissist? Do I have these narcissistic traits? Am I coming from a place of, am I trying to build myself up? Am I coming from a low vibrational place? I don't think that people should think and act like me. But in the collegiate world, that's the way your professors treat you. And that's the way the people on the three-letter networks treat the public. Oh, you better think like us elites. You better believe what us believes. You better see things the way we see it. You better see yourself the way I see myself. Or you are just not fit for our society. You're not a part of the club. But the thing about it is even some of my friends that, they're musicians. I'm a musician myself. But I would never think that a Stale King or a Oprah Winfrey would have my best interest at heart. I could never, fall to that kind of, I could never be influenced like that. I could never, those people would never be my vessel, to go forward or backwards, a spiritual vessel or an educational vessel or a motivational vessel or inspiration. None of that. Because first of all, they are celebrities. They are in that position for a reason. They are props to me. So no, thank you, but no. I can never be influenced by their money, by their philosophies. I could not. But you have people like I have, and I said all that to say that I have friends that are, we are musicians. Of course, we have creative, whatever. We take artistic licenses with things that even, maybe we shouldn't. We take on things that are out of our domains of competence at times. I try not to do that because I think that is of a narcissist trait. Okay. But I have a friend, I think think is she can get something from The View, and she happens to be an opera singer. She is viewed as their equal, not in conversation, not in political status. To realize that they are the rhetoric that makes her best interest. With these personalities, she thinks that that's acting. If I can think and act like the person thinks that that sees themselves fair notoriety, that's our closest link to them, is to follow their political lead or to follow their rhetoric, follow the rhetoric that they're pushing. I mean, just look at the BET Awards. I mean, seriously, the BET, That Nation, That Station, T Awards. I mean, seriously, the BET, That Nation, That Station, they fell a long time ago. And I really have, it's really quite toxic. If you guys, every time I see BET, it is like a portal of hell. They are celebrating hell. I mean, look at the colors, red, black. It's like something, I swear, some of these shows, it's probably not just the BET Awards. It's all under the auspices of an award show, hocus pocus to me, okay? The particular show, I don't know if you look at Bram Stoker's Dracula. When I see these people dancing around looking like succubus, no ma'am, no sir, no thank you, but no. Why would I want to watch this? Some of the most unflattering succubus figures are prancing around, and there's so much, and it's filled with symbolism. It's filled to the brim with symbolism. It really is. If you just look at it. Superstition, dark. Like I said, you got people dancing around like succubus. Very few incubus, by the way. I mean, I don't know. Like, you know, I'm surprised they don't have people flapping around in wings and you know, just go ahead and put some wings on your succubus. Just go ahead and do it. I can't watch these shows. Not only do I not watch the shows, I don't watch those networks. I haven't watched those networks in years. I mean, I question things, you know, so as they say back in the day, but really now, you know, I'm not the person that's going to jump on what everybody else is watching. I see a lot of these idiotic shows which just really just bring people down to the lowest. It's almost like they're chanting. They do chants. Like, they say stuff over and over again. Like, okay, I don't know if you guys watch. I stumbled on somebody watching, what's that show? And I do not respect this personality. What's that show? Wild and Out. What the hell does that even mean? Like, really, Nick Cannon? You're a grown man. Clearly you're wilding. Don't say, drop the D. Clearly you wilding. Clearly. But then when I heard a chant on one of his shows. I just think this stuff is really hocus pocus. I really do. It's like, I don't know if it was an old episode, but I just caught the tail end of it, like just overheard it. They were doing this thing, Trump gonna mess this thing up. Trump gonna mess this thing up. It just looping. Trump gonna mess. I mean, do you guys realize when something gets into your subconscious, whether you believe it or not, that's to me, it's the power. It's the power of music. It's the power of words. It's the power of lyricism. And see, to me, as a musician, I know that. That's not an elite point. I say that with no braggadocio, and it doesn't make me feel good about myself. It's just been a part of my life since I was 11 years old. But the power, most of the power of music, it took me years to understand, you know, to break it, to get to find out how the mining, this music, these lyrics that these people write, the production of these shows, they are mining down into your psyche. And I see why people back in the day used to not let their kids watch TV. I can see it clearly now, because when people are selling products, and they're selling you a product, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's Tide with bleach, or put that big blue sky in the back of your commercial and those white sheets blowing in the wind, they are mining down into your psychology. I have a friend that used to work for Tide, by the way, but she understands that wasn't her domain. She worked in a different department, but she understood that these people are mining it down. They're doing everything. Their psychology and the colors that are chosen for things. Their psychology that are, you know, when you use blue, when you use white, if you use red, you use yellow, you use orange, from the shapes. We're talking about the psychology of design. We're talking about the psychology of marketing. We're talking about the psychology of production. But you're watching a show like Wild 'N Out and any of these shows, they are heavily laden with mining psychology. So I'm saying stuff gets into your concepts, ideology, propaganda, rhetoric. It's been researched, it's been marketed down to the psychology of the viewer. They want it mined down to that common denominator that we all share. And if it's ignorant as hell, there you go. If it's dumbing you down, they got that too. So you really have to be careful with not only just what you watch, just all kinds of stuff. That was the only thing I heard. I heard something about deportation in that particular, in that crap. Like, I mean, just half truths, you name it. But you know, people will, they call that entertainment when it's actually not. It's actually, to me, just brainwashing you. It's getting people on a lower level. Like, it's a low vibrational. I think the media, their target is a low vibrational populace. People that are, because if you're watching that, I think you're kind of low vibrating. You kind of low vibrating if you're watching Wild 'N Out at 40 years old. In fact, I think if you're hosting Wild 'N Out, you're low vibrating. But you're doing it for a paycheck. You're doing it for a paycheck, but you're still low vibrating. They're getting you on your lowest, the most abstract component. So I don't know. I've kind of gone off on a little bit of tangent here, but I said CERNed. CERNed. Are you CERNed yet? Have you been? Do you know anybody that's CERNed? Do you know anybody that should be? If they're not CERNed yet, should they be? Have you run into any narcissists? Are you the narcissist in your daily life? How many boxes did you check? Can you check any boxes on your weekend? But honestly, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell you guys the truth. The first narcissist, I think, that I ever ran into were probably my own parents. Not probably, I'm going to say without a doubt. The first narcissist that I ever had to deal with were my own parents. And I'm going to tell you, kids don't know how to deal with that. They really don't. Their parents were narcissists too. So you're in it's like narcissist, breed narcissist, narcissist, defend narcissist. And I dare not say, may the odds be in your favor. I mean, seriously. So yeah, I'm just doing a little bit of concerned rant. Yeah. But I hope you guys had a nice holiday weekend, whether you were, celebrating or not. Because I know some people. That's another thing. I started off on this. You'll be left if they manage to get rid of the July 4th holiday. And the 4 flavors that Walmart might come up with, or they might come back with some flavors, some Neapolitan flavors for your Juneteenth. I mean, and there's no question by any stretch. No. Put out what you want. You can even send it to me and I'll read it. I will read it on the next live stream, the next OTR again, whatever. But I might even do a live stream tonight. It's been a long time. And yeah. But I think I needed a, for the lack of a better word, as I said on the last OTR again, is I needed a little bit of a palate cleanser. I just needed a little bit of a recess, a ceasing of what was going on before. And then I guess that almost takes me to my next question. You guys think we're in a recession? Or some people thinking are full-on depression? Which one of the echelons are we in? Are we closer to at this point? Can you tell? Are you concerned? Echelons are we in? Are we closer to at this point? Can you tell? Are you concerned? Are you concerned we're in a recession? Or we're approaching a recession? Are you concerned we're in a deep depression? We're going towards a depression? I don't know. Do you believe the balance sheets that you're being shown by, Fed Chair Powell? Fed Chair Powell. You know what? No matter what, they're still spending money and sending money. So I'm just curious. Are you guys concerned yet? How's your reality? What is reality? What was it? The one of the founders of CERN. What did she say? Truth is something that you aspire to. I'm paraphrasing, okay? Just don't do it. She said that this was at Davos. This is one of her quotes. And see, she would probably cut it out, and she wouldn't say, "Oh, I didn't say that." Oh, I was never streaming on at the Davos meeting, and I never said that at the World Health, the Assembly. I was never there saying those things. Yeah, like truth is, there is no, I do think I can confidently say that basically these scientists, they don't actually believe in truth, the absolutes. They think it's an aspiration, okay? These are the kind of people you're dealing with, okay? So I want to thank you guys, as always, for tuning in, and I want to thank you guys for coming in. Let's see, I know we had Charlie Ziegler. We had Anthony Van Zant, who I hadn't seen in a lifetime. We had the Watchman, and I think we had one other person. But yeah, I know I threw quite a few out there. Let's see. That we are in a recession, or are you concerned yet that we're approaching a depression? And it's all about the CERN. Are you concerned? Or are you disconcerted? Usually, sometimes you get, I said that earlier, so I'm going to round it out with that. Sometimes the disconcert comes before the concern. All right, guys. You guys have a great hump day. Actually, you keep your armor up. And, you know, hold on to your faith, because I'm telling you, these people are going to do what they want to do. And the other point is, you know, like, I can't spend my day and everything freaking out about what the people over at CERN are doing, because people have been trying to do this thing. These people have been trying to open portals and all this stuff forever. People casting spells and stuff all day long. Or as my ex would say, all day long. So I'm just saying, you know, you just got to be, you got to hold on to your faith, what you know, what you've built up, and know that you can withstand it. You know that. You guys know that on here. And I know for those of you, no matter what your belief is, you're rooted and you're grounded and you're solid. You're going to be solid. So sometimes you just have to be reminded. But I will check in with you guys later, and if I get a chance to come on later, because there was that story about Newsom and the AG of California leaking a database of gun owners, not just concealed carry, but just leaking all, just isn't that convenient? Who's going to be held accountable? They said it was removed, said it had been removed. But check that out for those of you that are still in California. So those of you that are still in California dreaming. I mean, you got some people that they think that this thing can be turned around, but I don't know. All right, guys, and let's see. What's my last comment from there? Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you for coming in for the CERN rant. I'll possibly see you guys later. Have a great day.